The indie author revolution has been around for more than a decade, but we indies continue to push the boundaries of what we're capable of. From getting over initial prejudices to staring down perfectionism and author imposter syndrome, we've become a force to reckon with. Now, after years of hustle and grind, we indies are rebelling again. Gone are the days of publishing a book a month until we drop, and in its place we're sowing the seeds of a better way. A way with more ease, abundance, and flow. Get ready to learn about indie authorship from a whole new perspective. We're about to cover everything from releasing your poverty mentality to manifesting your millionaire author destiny. I'm Carissa Andrews, and this is the Author Revolution Podcast. Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Author Revolution Podcast. I am so glad that you're here today. So today I want to talk about something that has been on my mind for a little while, and it's something that we talk about once in a while when it comes to the podcast or when it comes to some of the courses that I've been teaching lately on abundance. But one of the things that I see authors over and over again is tripping up over this concept of ease and like having the right mindset in order to bring in more abundance, to bring in more joy into their author careers, or to simply just bring in more words when it comes to writing your novels, right? So I thought today it would be a really great opportunity to talk about 3 mindset tricks that you can utilize and use that will be as powerful as possible when it comes to creating and bringing more ease into your author careers. And I'm not talking just about like in a single instance or a single manifestation. I'm talking about in a broad sweeping term, like in your author career, in your life. And you can utilize these 3 tips in your entire life, right? It doesn't have to just be about your author career, but I do find them very useful when deploying them for my author career. And I know that you will as well, because they're that good, okay? So mindset trick number 1 is when you are trying to reach or elevate into a new state, you need to focus on a satisfying thought, something that makes you feel good. And sometimes it's just the satisfying thought that is the next reaching thought, right? So let's say you're in your author career. It's obviously not where you want it to be yet. You know, eventually you want to have this wonderful, abundant author career, right? Maybe it's the millionaire author destiny that we've been talking about, but it feels a little too far away. Like that stretch is a bit too big to get there. It actually gives you more resistance than joy in the thought of it. So instead of focusing on the ultimate goal, the goal where you know you're heading towards, that's where you're going to reach for the next best feeling thought, the next most satisfying thought. And so it could be something as simple as, hey, every single year I have been making bigger strides. I've been growing. My audience has been growing. My readership has been growing. My sales have been growing. You can focus on those things that are going to show you and give you evidence of the momentum towards the direction you're heading, right? So just focus on that satisfying thought. And the more you focus on it or think about thoughts that are similar to it, the more thoughts and the more interesting ideas that are in that same vibration will start to join it. Now, Abraham Hicks talks about this an awful lot, and they talk about how when you have a thought, it doesn't matter if it's a positive thought or a negative thought. If you think it for more than 7 seconds, another thought's going to join it. And again and again and again. And so if you can hold thoughts that are elevating you into a place of satisfaction, of excitement, or even just like a little bit of hopefulness, that's going to get your energy up and running so that you can bring in better feeling thoughts. You're going to elevate your vibe. You're going to start feeling a little bit better. So that tip number 1 is just to start with your thoughts. Be deliberate about what you choose to think. And when you're deliberate about it, then you're not running on default. You're not allowing the thoughts that typically run through your head to go through them, because you can't think 2 thoughts simultaneously without it causing a little bit of a dissonance, right? Without it causing some problems. More than likely, you are only able to focus on 1 thought at a time. So when you start focusing on that satisfying thought, your thoughts will continue to gain momentum in that direction, and it's going to elevate you in ways that are going to transcend all the thoughts that you were doing before, right? You are creating new neural pathways in your brain that are strengthening and growing and helping you to literally change the way your life looks. It's really powerful stuff. And you can use this in all sorts of ways. Like, it doesn't have to just be your author career. Like, if your relationship isn't going so hot, or if your kids aren't behaving the way you want, you can start focusing on a satisfying thought about them. And sometimes this could be a rampage of appreciation as well. Like if you are not quite where you want to be, you can start thinking about a thought that makes you feel appreciation toward it. So like, your author career isn't perfect yet. Well, that's okay. My career's not where I want it to be yet, but it's a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Or these characters are a lot more fun than I thought they would be. Or I really appreciate the way that I am able to incorporate some of the lessons that I've learned and take them to a new level. I'm really appreciating the way that new doors are opening and new insights are coming. Or I appreciate the way that money sometimes flows to me, even though I haven't quite allowed it to come in through my author career yet. It's still flowing to me. It's still supporting me. So those satisfying thoughts can still be there. Those appreciative thoughts can gain momentum and help you to go into a direction that is really going to help you a lot. And like I said, it can be in all areas of your life. It could be your kids. Like your kids maybe are getting on your nerves, but you could be like, you know what? I really appreciate the fact that they're growing and they're expanding and they're really good kids. Most of the time, they're doing really great. And so I appreciate that they have really fun interests and they're becoming really independent people. You can start thinking those thoughts of appreciation even when things maybe aren't quite perfect. Could be about your house. I've said this one on the podcast before. Like my house is in a constant state of remodel. Like everywhere you go, there is a room, pretty much every room in my house right now has like some level of reconstruction happening. And so it could be literally like, I still appreciate the beauty that is starting to be, coming forth from the chaos, I guess, the craziness. Things are starting to shape up. Things are getting beautiful. Things are, have beautiful elements, even if the rest of the place isn't great. So there's all sorts of things that I can appreciate, even if it's not perfect. So give it a little bit of a try. Stay in that satisfying thought realm. Stay in the appreciation realm for as long as you can. And if you can do it first thing in the morning, all the better. Because what happens when you first wake up is you've kind of reset your mental palette, right? You've stopped momentum on any thoughts that you had from the following day. And so you start fresh. And so unless you start picking up those thoughts that you put down when you first went to bed, you're going to be able to shift your trajectory by being deliberate about your thoughts. So if you can start reaching for those satisfying thoughts first thing in the morning, that is where you're going to see a lot more transition in your overall attitude because you've set the tone for the day. And the momentum will continue to go forth from that point. Okay? So tip number 2 is to stay present in the now as much as possible. Now we get busy, we get, into our things and we're doing a lot of stuff. We are writing books, we are doing the marketing, we're doing our day jobs maybe, we're dealing with family, we're doing a lot of different things. And so we kind of go into subconscious mode. So especially if there are things that we're doing that are on repeat, if we have routines set in place, we have ways that we handle certain things, they start to default into the subconscious mind. They start going into those subconscious programmings. And sometimes when we've had patterns of thought with those types of situations, with those types of routines or rituals that we do every single day, those patterns of thoughts will start to arise. So for instance, if you are working out every day, but you're not seeing results, and you start that momentum of thoughts like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this workout because if I don't do it, then it's going to be this bad thing, but it's not like it matters anyway because my body's not responding. And so what's the whole point of doing any of this? But at the same time, I suppose I better do it because if I don't, I feel worse. And so you have perhaps patterns of thoughts in those things that need to shift as well. So when you can stay present in the now, that's where your power of attraction really lies. It's in the ability to stay present, to know exactly what you're thinking, and be able to shift those thoughts when they're not serving you. So if you are, getting ready to write, for instance, and your thoughts kind of are like, oh, I've been so stuck for the past week. I haven't been able to get as many words in as I thought. I really thought I'd be farther than this by now. Those are going to start replaying. And unless you are present enough to notice them and go, you know what? No. That's not going to be me today. Today, I'm going to be doing something different. Today, I am going to make the words flow easily. I am going to channel the voices of my characters. This is going to be fun. It's going to be amazing. This whole process is going to be this deliberate co-creation with the universe as I get to tap into something beyond myself and write. Okay? Start giving yourself kind of that pep talk of what it is you really want versus what you've been feeling or what's been bothering you or how it's been bringing you down. Because if you're doing that, if you're focusing on what's not working, you're focusing on the problem of the whole thing, right? And we've talked about this before. A desire is a stick, right? Abraham Hicks uses this, and I love this analogy where it's like one end of the stick is what you want. The other end of the stick is what you don't want. Same stick, but yet it is going to have two very different effects, whichever end of the stick you're focusing on. So if you're focusing on the problem side of the stick, you are not able to get to the solution. You're not able to get over into the vibration of the thoughts of the solution. And so you just can't get there from there. So in order to get to the place where new thoughts come, where ease comes in fast, where grace happens, where the words flow, where everything becomes easy and fun and enjoyable, you have to start thinking about and processing through your thoughts in the now, but towards the solution, towards what you want to see happen, what you know you really are desiring to have happen. And so you start approving and reinforcing that is how it gets to work for you. You get to choose how your life gets to work for you. And that includes your author career. It includes how you write your books. It includes how you market your books, how your readers find you, all of the things. You get to choose all of these things. And the more you decide how they work for you, remember, your decision is your superpower. The more you decide how it works for you, the more your universe shifts towards that decision. Because if you continue to think it, you continue to go towards those thoughts become things. And your beliefs truly are just thoughts on repeat. So a belief is just a thought you continue to think and you continue to reinforce over and over again. So if it's a belief that's not working for you, that's not helping you get towards your goal, like, I can never get these words out fast enough, or everybody else writes faster than I do, that's a belief, right? It's a belief that is no longer working for you. It's a limiting belief, but it's a belief nonetheless. It's time for you to, in the now, recognize it and shift it and ask yourself those questions like, is this ultimately true? Does this have to be true for me? Or is there something that I can bring into my reality that feels more true, that feels more graceful, that feels more at ease? And start thinking that thought over and over and over again in the now, right now. And so when you can stay present and when you can start to notice your thoughts, especially when you have kind of gone into that subconscious mode, that's where you're going to start shifting things. That's where the subconscious mind starts to get uncovered and you can start to make some deliberate changes. Now, tip number 3 is if all else fails when it comes to reaching for that satisfying thought or staying present in the now, focus on how you feel. Or notice how you feel. So if you're not quite sure what you're thinking because the thoughts are going so deep or into the subconscious so deep, start noticing how your body feels, how you specifically feel. Are you in a place of like insecurity or unworthiness? Do you feel like discouraged, or do you feel like you're worried about something? What is the feeling that you're going after right now? Like, what's in your body? Take a second to just notice how you're feeling. And when that happens, your feelings are guideposts towards what you're thinking. And so in that now, in that noticing of, frustration or impatience or pessimism or even boredom, you're operating from emotional states that are not helping you. That those are your points of attraction. How you feel is literally your alignment to the thing that you want. So if you are out of alignment, you're going to be having all of those feelings of pessimism, of worry, of blame, of jealousy. All the things are going to be coming and it's not going to feel good because you're not in alignment. Alignment instead is going to feel more like hopefulness, optimism, positive expectation, or even the belief of good things coming. It's going to feel like passion and joy and empowerment and freedom. All of those things are up the emotional scale and they're going to put you back into alignment with the things you really want, with the ease you're trying to bring into your author career. And so if you notice yourself, just kind of feeling or operating into this place of, frustration or impatience or overwhelmment or whatever those feelings are, you can stop, then stay present, then go into the now and go, okay, what thoughts were coming up for me a few seconds ago that made me feel this? And when you can recognize those thoughts by how you felt, now you can start to shift them again. Now you can start to go, okay, I was thinking about how at the end of the month, I've got this big bill coming up and I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. And so I'm obviously worried about money. Well, money can't come if you are focusing on the problem. So you need to start shifting towards a solution. Start thinking about something like, money always works out for me. It always works out. The money always comes. I've made the decision that this particular bill needs to be paid. I'm always the type of person that pays my bills on time. Everything gets to work out for me. And because that is true, then the money must come. I know it will come some way, somehow. And the how, we've talked about this on other podcast episodes, is not your responsibility, right? We kind of get mucked up in the how process because we're humans living a human life and a human experience, and we like to work out the details of the how. But sometimes, if we can open ourselves up to the universal influences, you can get some amazing, insightful, like unheard of solutions happening to your problem, like things that you had no idea how this thing was going to get paid. Like, for instance, what if you had this bill coming up and you had, for whatever reason, 2 years ago, this actually happened to one of our students in the Rapid Release Roadmap program. Her husband was needing to have some sort of surgery. She didn't know how she was going to raise $2,000, but she trusted that this thing was going to happen, that it was going to come for her, help her do the thing, right? And they ended up getting, just in time, just before the surgery went down, an insurance check from 3 years ago from a job that she had left, and she didn't even know she had some extra money sitting in one of those health savings accounts, right? And they got the check, it paid for the entire thing. This is the sort of thing that like you're not even aware of could be coming for you, and it comes at the exact right time, at the exact right place, for the exact right reason. And it's so amazing how many types of stories I've heard like this where things will just show up. Like once you've made the decision, once you know and trust that this thing is yours and that's going to happen, it has no choice but to show up for you. So one of the best ways, seriously, to notice what you're actually thinking and what your point of attraction is by centering in and noticing how you're feeling. Because feeling can bring you back around to focusing on that satisfying thought. It can help you focus around back into being in the now. So that noticing how you feel, like I said before, is your place of alignment. It tells you how to get into the point of attraction that you really want. And one of the things that's really interesting about alignment and about how you feel is that it filters into everything else. So let's say your normal set point of, your feeling basis is contentment. Like you're just sitting in contentment and you like it, but you're trying to bring in more. So your goal is actually to get more towards eagerness or passion or enthusiasm, right? You're trying to get up the emotional scale into those places so that you can create from those places. Well, in order to do that, you have to find ways to elevate and get yourself into alignment before you start creating, before you start asking the universe for insights, before you start writing your books, before you start doing anything. You need to help yourself align into that space so your point of attraction is where you want it to be, okay? Sometimes we get weird mixed results because we are, trying to get this thing that we know we want, that we know we can have, but we haven't elevated ourselves quite yet. I've done this so many times where it's like, I know I want to elevate to the next level for my writing or for Author Revolution or whatever it is, but I didn't at the start of writing those emails or the start of creating that book or the start of designing the cover, I didn't get myself into that point of passion or enthusiasm. And there's many ways we can go about doing this. But if I don't do that first, I have noticed that the results are not as great. And so it's really key to get into alignment. It's really key to focus on and notice how you're feeling so that you can bring more ease into your author career. Now, speaking of alignment, I have something that I've been working on for a while, and I'm so excited to finally get the waitlist up for you. So I'm going to be launching a 5-day live launched course all on alignment. So the Abundant Author Alignment is going to be opening up later on this week. So right now it's March 21st. I'm going to be opening the doors very soon. So if you want to get the live launch, pre-launch pricing, I want you to head over to the waitlist, which is over at millionaireauthorcoach.com/alignment. Get on the waitlist because those who are in the waitlist are going to be getting that special launch price, okay? And now this thing is going to be amazing. It's going to be 5 days interactive where we're talking about alignment. We're going to have the first part being the conversations that we're having each day, but you can bring your questions live to this event. So if you are in this alignment class, you are in a Zoom meeting with me, we are going to be talking about it all, and it is going to be incredible. Okay, so more information on that will be coming. I will be sending out emails later on this week so that people can start getting signed up for the pre-launch. But we're going to be launching it over April 17th through the 21st. So that's when the live launch will happen. It'll be after Easter, so we can get that all out of the way. But we're going to have an incredible time elevating to our next level and getting our point of attraction on point. Did you like how I did that? That was funny. Okay, anyway, we're going to have a good time. So hopefully you'll check that out. And if you are interested in learning more about Author Revolution, about Millionaire Author Coach, head over to either one of those websites, millionaireauthorcoach.com or authorrevolution.org, and learn about the courses that are already ongoing. The only course that I have that isn't evergreen is the Millionaire Author Manifestation course. And that's because we live launch it. We go through week by week. We're with each of the students. So that's me and Tammy. We are with them each week. We are doing group coaching calls at the end of each week. And we're doing a lot of hypnosis and meditations, and a lot of things go into that particular course. So it only launches once a year. The other courses, however, which, some of them are manifestation courses, some of them are abundant author courses, some of them are just author courses like Indie Publishing Fundamentals or Rapid Release Roadmap. They're there to help you elevate as an indie author and get into a new space altogether, right? They're helping you to understand this dynamic of being an indie and really leveraging all that we have in our toolboxes to do a better job. So I hope that you'll check out the other courses, check out what's going on there, or of course you can just stay here and hang out with me for the podcast because I give lots of tips and tricks every single week, and I hope that you're enjoying them. And if you are, I hope that you'd go to your podcast platform of choice and leave a review. I love reading the reviews. I love seeing them and seeing what you guys are thinking about what I'm talking about. So I really would appreciate it if you'd go there, leave a 5-star review, and just let me know what you think, right? Okay, now I will be putting all of the links in the show notes for today, as well as the transcript from today's podcast episode. So if you head over to authorrevolution.org/175, you can get all the goods right there. I'll include the link to the waitlist for the Abundant Author Alignment course. And I'm just so excited about this one, guys. It's going to be so much fun. It came to me without really much thought. I must have been in the aligned place for it. And so all of the ideas for it started coming in. I started writing them down, and now it's becoming this full-blown thing. And so I'm really excited to dive into it next month. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so let's get into alignment together. Let's set our point of attraction. Let's do this thing in a way that no one else has done before, right? Let's do this and really become the millionaire author that we're destined to become by setting our point of attraction. It's so key. It is so key. All right. In the meantime, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of March. I hope you get on the wait list and get enrolled into the Abundant Author Alignment course. And in the meantime, you know what you got to do, right? Go forth and start your author revolution.